Good evening, fellow Plexers. This video is for James with a question out of the Plexaholics group. He signed into an old account that he hasn't used in a while and he can't find his libraries. So I sent him a video on how to claim a Plex server. But as I got to thinking, if the Plex server was created under a different Plex account, he actually needs to be in the web app of that Plex account to get rid of the server before he can claim it with a different Plex account. You can't have a server already claimed by one Plex account and then find it. So I was distracted earlier tonight. My new toy came in, this baby, and it's eventually going to replace my 11th gen Intel branded NUC that's got a mobile i5 in it running unraid as a Docker host to point to my media on my Synology NAS. It's got an Intel ARC iGPU, so it should be even faster than my already fast 11th gen NUC, which will become another bench system, a second bench system for me. So as I was playing around with this, it struck me that I could help James better. So my old HP bench system had this IP address ending in 6.1. This new 14th gen NUC has this local IP address. Lots of times you can't claim a Plex server unless you use this local host address. Under Linux, you can just claim a lost server or a new server with a direct IP address. So what we've got here is I've got my app.plex.tv web app address plugged in, and I also have the direct IP address plugged in for this hardware. So at app.plex.tv, we don't see anything. And if I go to authorized devices and sort by just servers, we don't see that Windows server that I had running on the old HP bench system. And we don't see it here either at the direct IP address. There's no server that lines up with that. Lastly, if I go to the Plex app and open Plex, I don't see it with a local IP address login either, and that's because the server was never associated with my main Plex account. I do have it associated with a test user account, Walk51, because Walk63 was already taken. I wonder by who. Okay, so I don't see it this direct IP address, which the Firefox browser remembered because that's the old hardware. That hardware isn't on now. But if I go to, let's go to app.plex.tv, and if I see a server update. So I found this server. So I can't add this server to my other Plex account while it's here. And if I remember right, when I did the last video on this, let's go to libraries, I had mapped drives from my Synology NAS into this Windows install, and I was using just the bench system with Windows on it on a small computer to point to NAS storage. And I think I may have even moved this server to my Synology NAS into basically a Linux install, Windows to Linux. And I'm not sure if I did that as a Synology package, which is just Linux, or into a Docker container on that Synology NAS, which is also Linux. So to try to help James out, we're going to remove this Plex server from this user account that doesn't have a Plex pass, and then we're going to add it to my regular account, which does have a Plex pass. And if he did something similar, if that server he's trying to add to his old user account is still associated with his other Plex account, this is what he'll have to do. Have to go up to authorized devices, sort it by server. Here it is, and it's just a little X there. Confirm that you want to remove it. Yes, I'm sure. And now it's gone. So at one time I had done the same thing. I had moved this test server from my older Synology NAS to a Windows install. That was over a month ago. I don't need it. And I don't know what this was. But I had signed into it under a test install of Ubuntu. I'll get rid of that. So now there's no servers under this test user of mine. So I can basically be done with that. So lots of times in Windows you can't add a server unless you try the local host address. Under Linux, I should be able to add this server to the account with a direct IP address. So we'll see what happens now. Alright, so let's get rid of that local host now, and let's paste it in and see if we get to claim the server. No. So let me try the direct IP address in a new window. Still no. Alright, my regular server is scanning. Let's go back to the... Let me close that out. Let me close both these out. Get rid of that. We're just at app.plex.tv. So we can't claim a server with app.plex.tv. Let me go back and try this again. Let's go to the settings. So that's showing media from my regular server. And we're not seeing anything. Not telling us that there's an unclaimed server. Okay, so let's try the direct IP address. Alright, I am not hitting pay dirt. Okay, let me reboot and see if that changes things. So what I want to do is I want to close all these Plex windows. And I'll close that, and I will shut down and then restart. Be right back. And I'm back after the reboot. Let's see how Plex is doing. Okay, so it's running. Let's bring the web browser back up. Let's see, where is it? Start. I'm always a fish on a water in Windows, as many of you have heard me say before. So let's just try this. Let's right-click and open Plex. Now this is a good sign. Ooh, I think we're hitting pay dirt. I see the server. No remote access, general web. Well, let's just see if it's listed under authorized devices now, because I really haven't claimed it. Well, it's right there. without claiming it, it's back on this account. So that's not quite what I expected. I expected to have to claim it. But it is already claimed by this server. So just rebooting was the success. So I could do the updates now. I might as well run those. Now, it's only Windows where you can do this. Well, maybe a Mac. I don't know either. I don't know about a Mac. Under Linux, you have to stop the server and update it. Under the Docker container, you stop the container and update it. Same with the Synology NAS package. You stop the package, update it, and restart the package. So James, I hope this helps. I'm going to just pause the video until this update is done, and we'll take a quick final look at things. Well, I shouldn't have even paused that for the 2 seconds because the update finished. It's back. We can check for updates again. Let's refresh. Check for updates. We're fine. So we're at app.plex.tv. And now all of these different addresses will show the same thing. So the server's claimed under the direct IP address. And let me see here, the server is claimed under the localhost address. And let's keep going to the libraries. The mapping should have stayed the same. Let's go into this. Let's go into library mode. And let me just pick something old and just play it for 2 seconds. Yeah, so this install really only had a new IP address associated with it, so the mapping back to my Synology NAS was all intact. So James, I hope this video helps you better than the generic how to claim a Plex server video that I sent. I'm going to get these 2 parts upstairs to my desktop computer and join them, put them up on YouTube for you, and send them to you before it gets too late. So thanks for watching, and happy Plexing.